Hello, hello, hello. It has been a while, ladies and gentlemen. I took a week off to go visit family and friends, and then I got sick for a week, but I'm back. It's one of the first days I feel human, and everything's same, par for the course for all the trades we got in. The trades we got in were for long term, and this is the beauty of long term trades: is I didn't even really look for the majority of the time in the last 2 weeks. Supreme Crypto and I, though, the last couple of days really started talking about the market when I got on the mend. For those that have been following the journey, and for those that don't know, I said I have some news. Some of you may or may not know already as well, is I'm packing up. NFAOFC and from Vancouver, British Columbia, and heading to Vietnam. Heading to be there hopefully in about 6 weeks. And Supreme Crypto and I have a few things up our sleeve and some things coming for the community and everything that I've been working on and looking towards with the support of a hella team. Shout out to Supreme, Ryan, Amir, Kate, Primo, all of you pulling tons of extra weight. Well, I pretty much slept for 5 days straight. For those that don't know, I am immune compromised. And that's the weird thing because I don't think that's really hit me yet. And I notice it when it's like a recovery from like a cold flu and how much it takes out of you as an old dude. I'm in my last year of my 40s. I'm really looking forward to some lifestyle changes, the move, some things that are coming with NFA, and starting fresh. So on that note, the daily fix will not be the daily fix for a while because these are trades that I designed to be in longer. The reason I wanted to be in longer, I knew that obviously this move was coming and have been planning for it. So I really wanted to get into some solid trades where I didn't have to worry about it, look at the charts every day and things like that. And a lot of them are in very similar patterns. And I do kind of sound like a broken record. When I have the time to ever give insight, I'll always be available, always can still tag me. And that kind of thing has never changed. Actually, you'll probably see more of me in the Discord posting my screenshots while I look over it versus a scheduled show. We will be doing still once a week to go over everything and look at it. And we'll be kicking up more full time once I'm settled, landed, and building the office in Vietnam, and hopefully adding a few more people to the team, kind of thing. Lots of things to come. You guys probably don't care about that at the moment, but you're probably giving me patience because candles are green. They're not red. Everybody seems to be happier when they're green. I thought the thumbnail was fitting of the sign, road sign or whatever, the billboard, because I've been called all sorts of names over the last 2 years when I've been trying to tell people we were in a bullish market. We weren't in NFTs by any means, but the NFTs weren't the market. And I'm always talking about the crypto market. And a bullish trend just means higher highs and higher lows. There is no time allotted to a bullish trend, and there's no real specific rules. So if you're trading on the longer term, it is high risk. I mean, all of this is high risk. But global events, we timed the last top really nicely. We timed our entry to shed. We got in with these trades the day before geopolitical bombs. But it's been a good learning lesson for those that haven't been in situations like this, to why you follow your strategy. You have cash on the sidelines, and we repeatedly bought in. And by the look of everything, we're in profit. I actually haven't looked at our trades other than just to set it up for today. And everything is where it's been left off. And some of these charts have been marked up for months. And it's really interesting to see how it still all is playing out. And some of these, I'm going to do a few. I've got some notes here from some DMs of requests. And if I still have the energy, and it's before the hockey game, and anybody here has questions, I'll try to get into those tokens or trading pairs if I can. What I always talk about is obviously the money flow cycle. Every successful trade in crypto comes from understanding this concept. The money coming in and the money leaving our market. And what we want to understand is how our tools work with it, the trends that are happening with it, and how you play within it. And there's a lot of reason I don't panic anymore. I used to be a trader like that. When it all starts to really just, you see the ebbs and flows of how it works, it all just starts to make a little more sense. So let's dig into it, as I always say. So the total market cap, all the money in crypto, I mean, we can still leave this. This here is the daily consolidation box of where it's hit its high of this, we not obviously our all-time high. And then some key lines of support and resistance. I don't know what happened to our danger area. I had that on one of ours where we had a lower thing, but with transferring between all my computers in the program, I noticed some of my tabs were weird. Because before, what we did is we talked about, and we called this double bottom, and we also talked about how this could be a head and shoulders. And I mean, this is basically a textbook pattern of head and shoulders. Why? Because our bodies are right there on both of these downs, and our bodies of the low is lower than it. And it's done this head and shoulders, inverse head and shoulders bullish pattern. And we talked about that quite possibly playing out. Supreme Crypto has had so much TA on the pattern of this playing out. And we talked about how fast money can move in this market. And that, yes, it's a lot of money, but compared to world markets, it's really not. I mean, NVIDIA alone is worth more than all of crypto. Just put it in perspective. All of it. Bitcoin, everything. There's, I think, 6 or 8 companies that have the net worth of the entire crypto market. So this pattern is playing out beautifully. And I mean, we don't get overly obsessive with our lines of support and resistance, but we can clearly see a wick. So all this here has been resistance, came into support, all in here, resistance on that wick. So we just dropped this line with the blue dot in now, and look where it's struggling right there as well. And if you followed my strategy, or you understand how some of these tools work, I always talk about the belly of the bear and the curve of the bull. And this made sense. All-time high of Bitcoin in that area came down, and then this was geopolitical first and then second. And now that we've taken off, and you've also heard me say, sometimes equal action, just like physics, that it goes. But we also have to use our common sense here. don't. This is the worst time to buy, because in 8 days we've had $377 billion injected into the market. Makes sense to me that a bunch is probably going to leave soon because that's what it's been doing. I'm not. I've seen some of the tweets on the thread. We're in altcoin market now. It's all going. Dom's gone down. Alto running. It's an altcoin cycle. No, we're still nowhere near an altcoin cycle. We're still very much a Bitcoin cycle. But this is great. I mean, this is our old TA, and it's just doing the head and shoulders that we discussed as a possibility. Look at how it held. And I was always screaming, it needs to hold that 2.18 to the 2.2. I said, that's where, for me, when we dip below in here, is where we had our warning danger, where I would look at stop losses or deploying a lot more capital at the trades we're in. I never got into either. But on the daily trend, we got our bullish cross Friday. And we know there's always retracement after bullish crosses, right? Because it came from all the way up here. Of course, people are going to take profits, just like I think it makes sense that people are going to take profits, or it might run this week. It might be the first time we actually run. Wouldn't that be nice? We get a new daily candle in about a half hour, so obviously we'll be keeping our eyes on it. But everything is still extremely bullish. Short term, it says retracement on stochastic, getting into quite the greed in the RSI. But we haven't had a bullish cross on the daily since February 6th. Right? So we also know that the further these two lines are apart and are spreading, it's price action. In this case, dollars entering or leaving the market. Those look pretty up to me. We don't have a red in through the Bollinger Band on the top or a kiss. So I would expect some retracement, but we're still very bullish. And that's why I said before when we first started, there's no time. There's no crystal ball to how long something's going to take. Our tools, technical analysis, understanding cheapo mentality really give us the best crystal ball we can get in terms of price and entries. But the time is always the factor we never really know. Oops. But we do know it's been some time since early February, and then again in October. And we've had all these pullbacks. And like we say, retracements are healthy. And every time we have a pullback, the chicken littles, everybody panics. And it's a great time to sell and then wait, rebuy, and get in, and and do that if you have the bandwidth. We were in the accumulation phase. And I talked about that a lot in these trades. And what I meant by that is, you're not wanting to sell your bags. If you have bags you believe in, just keep adding to them. So on red days when people are panicking, buy them. Go on the 4 hour and look for these bellies. You're never going to time the bottoms and tops perfectly. But I bet everybody bought in yesterday, or wish they did, after a day like today, because you could have bought in, got out, and are done. Fast trades. We knew it was coming because of our bullish cross on Friday. So if you're shocked by this today, you don't understand how our tools work and how TA works. I would really like to see it pull over and fight the 2 6s. and then have its next pull back down and maintain this 2437. I don't mind if we wick down below it, but holding this higher low is always important. We don't want to come back down to these levels. We don't want to match this candle. It's never a good sign. If we do, it's just going to come all the way back down here. And that's the other thing. When we say it's a Bitcoin cycle, we may be in for sideways chop, however that looks like in this whole rectangle. And to be honest, I'd like to get a little higher, but the longer we do this, the better it is, the longer the bull run is, and trade within it. Now, fast trading, I always say I like to have a bullish on the daily cross. We're really curious to see tomorrow if maybe we do some streaming fast trades. Oh, never mind. I'm at the doctor tomorrow. Maybe it's morning. But this is what I'm looking for fast trades, is a bullish momentum. Because even if you screw up, you can just hold it and wait that trade out, and you'll be in profit soon enough. So on the 4-hour, critical, no big surprise, but holding. We have that support and resistance in that 2.5 over here. What a jump. And these bands are just poised for takeoff. They haven't even begun to curl. Now, critical, but not in stochastic. What's the news? Do I even care? So the reason we're having such a nice alt run today, and everybody's excited, is because total market cap went up and Dom shit the bed. Remember when this rectangle here, when we put this in, this is a 4-hour rectangle. I can tell just by the color. Was the majority of where we've been fighting. And now look at that wick that came all the way back and held that. And we didn't change the height of this line. We just extended the box here. But it's virtually right on it. And so we already know a ton of money is starting to flow back into Bitcoin. Profits already be taken in some of it. Doesn't mean it's not over yet. There's going to be multiple profit waves. Still looking good. Is Bitcoin above 70 is the question. 71, there it is. Nice. Market cap goes up, money flows into Bitcoin, and then dominance goes down because it goes from Bitcoin into the alts. Just going to extend this same thing, daily consolidation rectangle. So Thursday, you got Bitcoin's bullish cross telling you. So on Thursday, you could have bought just based on that indicator. We always say wait for the red. I mean, nobody times the bottom and the top perfect, but just buying by that indicator in 4 days, it would have been 10% for you. And that's why I'm always looking for these bellies, because then you got in here versus wherever you got in this area. But same thing as I said about the total market cap. I wouldn't be surprised to see a little tracement because 18% in 8 days. Yeah, but market sentiment might be just to continue to float into alts, and we actually see more than a day or two of returns in our altcoins, which wouldn't that be fucking nice? Same thing though. Like you can see, it's the price that it's at right now. Look where that is. Support and resistance on those candles. Look at all that support there at its current price point. And then the resistance, wick, wick, wick. So its question is, can it hold it? And my answer is probably for a little bit, because we know this is massive resistance on the daily. So it makes sense that we're having these curls and retracements are healthy. Can it hold in here is the question. The 69s, the degens. Roughly there, 69, 159. So the real test right now for Bitcoin will be, can it hold that? We expect some to come back. Makes sense. Can it hold this line to now contest the whatever this line is? 72, 73, somewhere in there. Should find my glasses. 2 seconds. Oh, yeah, there. I got 5 of you. I have no idea who's watching. Thanks for tuning in. Just kind of me, honestly, just getting caught up. I mean, textbook head and shoulders on Bitcoin. And this comes back to what I was saying. This is a Bitcoin cycle. And because of that, everything's just going to mirror what Bitcoin does to them. Not exactly, but you'll see what I mean, you know? So there's your candle bodies, there's your candle bodies, there's your candle bodies, inverted head and shoulders, played out right to it. But some people say technical analysis isn't a thing. We said it could be a double bottom. And as soon as it broke here, that's when we were like, okay, let's hope for an inverted head and shoulders. There it is. It could also just become a falling wedge and come right back down to here. But the pattern played out. It's awesome. So, I mean, what is it? What time? If Asia wakes up and decides to buy as opposed to take profits, we will probably see a nice little bit of a run here. Have this, whatever's just happened, continue, which would be so refreshing for this market. We haven't had it for so long. It's like it comes in, goes up, comes in, goes up, comes in, goes up. And that's a hard thing to try to trade. Even as an experienced trader, that's a hard thing to try to trade. And that's why I try to make it clear, accumulate. Just buy good projects that you know. This is actually quite funny. I mean, look at the head and shoulders. This one's a little uglier. Still follow. I mean, so now it's really going to want to hold this 36.38 support in here. But what do we got? Our bullish cross. We're changing direction statistically. Well, okay, what happens? We talked about it earlier. There's always going to be a retracement after a bullish cross. And after 5 days of 27.95. Sweet. I found some ETH the other day too. Nice. Of course, people are going to take profits. Real question: will it hold here? Will it wick down into these middle area in this area? Most likely. Some of the questions were about the ETF and the Gary Gensler thing, and where I think the price of ETH was going to be. I mean, we called ETH from the day we started doing the show in January. And the only thing we missed was the bad news bears. And we actually got out at the top in our Discord. And it's all posted. If you're not in there, it should be. If you are in there and you're not hanging out as much, there's been some great calls. Yeah, I would expect some retracement somewhere in here, but this is looking healthy. Bullish cross means we're off to the races for a bit. Doesn't mean for how long, but we've changed this downward momentum. Now we need higher lows, which it's done just a fine job of. Telling pressure, not much percentage, especially for ETH maxis. They'll be taking it. What a candle. I agree, Kwan. Totally. Now I know somebody who's here. Yeah, say hi so I know who's here. Hope you're doing well. I'd be curious to hear your thoughts on the whole Mike Tyson thing, because I know you're a fan of the fights. Let's get into give me 1 sec. I gotta do a couple things. I'll throw this on. All right, we've been in what is it? I think there's 8 on this one and 6 on the other. 14 trades, and a bunch more that were given on the hunt that I just gave as good entries for the time. Let's catch up on some of these. There was few that got great profits throughout since we've been entering. I said I wouldn't fault you to take profit. The whole point of this for me was that I wouldn't be looking knowing that I'm getting ready to leave and have to do everything to get ready for that. Whoa. So we're trying to play out this cup and handle pattern. It's probably much easier to see on the weekly. And we just got the bullish cross again on the weekly. And then obviously, as we just discussed with the money flow cycle, that we can see money looks like it's about to flow back in. And we have 3 targets, 1, 2, and 3 for this trade. Out of all of them, it has been probably one I've been most frustrated with and our most lackluster for being such a great project. And I think it's right now probably one of our only trades. Oh, we are slightly above profit. So all these top entries were pre-geopolitical events, and then we bought in to equate the top entries to, so once we turned around, we didn't have to round trip as soon as we crossed one of the lines. Because of following strategy, we're now in the slightest of profits with 1 inch. It has been a very long time since that's, well, actually, we did say you could take profits there, but it's been a long time. And if we can just even carry over our past TA, this consolidation box from the past was the 4-hour bottom here, showing resistance and then support. You can see even in the future, it became resistance, And all I just did was extend the length. Became resistance, resistance became support, resistance. Now will this hold as support? And then start to go, but look what we got. We finally got. Now on the 4 hours, obviously we get more. But it looks good, finally. It is a long-term hold. I did consider saying somewhere back in here that it would have been a good entry. I just never did for whatever reason. They probably time. Look at that. When alts want to run, we were talked about how it could curl here, first geopolitical, and it could take off just as fast. And like it did there. Second round, whatever this BS was, I can't remember, but just regular look at this head and shoulders forming. If this becomes where it answers back to, I mean, what a killer entry. We even said down here would be a great entry, but it needed to hold above it. In profits, great to see it. And we haven't got the cross yet. So don't buy right now because there will be retracements. But just to get back up to there to give you some idea, to finish the pattern out, just from where it is currently, it's going to be 32%. By doing nothing but grabbing it and then patiently waiting. Algorand has been in that lackluster group as well. I mean, it did spike, and we even said on that day, wouldn't fault anybody for taking profits in here because it was good profits. And we can see it's still fighting for the bullish cross. It wants that micro bull. It's compressing, compression, consolidation, typically builds to breakouts, following all the same patterns as everything else. Looking good. I forgot to look back for comments. Yeah, come on. Like, I mean, if you would have told me 3 years ago, I'd have lasers coming out of my eyes and be talking giving non-financial advice on the internet. I would have thought that was crazy too. But here we are. Looking healthy. Again, I would expect a retracement, and we'd want to be holding this 168 or 1848 and 1817 on its pullback. Again, I wouldn't be chasing any. When we were talking about accumulation before, stink bids on these lines, now is not the time to try to chase pumps. This is what will kill you. It's actually more what Ann America said on her Discord. Where do I take my profits? These I've been building for the long haul. These trades, I'm hoping to be capped out of these either just before we go for the first round of targets before I have to go overseas, or roughly right around when I get there. And then look for possible new entries or see how they're at for their targets. I mean, we're in profit. We've been in profit since we've crossed this line. That's great. I've been saying Avalanche is going to have its day this year. I mean, our targets going to take that there, but there you're at 39 and then 60. And then we'll have to look at the viability of where everything is at. But looking like it's starting to healthy pullback, consolidation, and then now wants to take off again. We can actually update this since we're here. What an ugly. But, I mean, it did call its breakout and hold. Same thing on the pullback. It's really got to hold this 39.15 to show strength and continue to just walk up this line or just rip. Obviously, its first major point of contention resistance will be at the 56.30. Still feel like I have a cold in my chest. Cielo or CeLo or CELO, or I would love to actually know somebody from this team that could actually tell us. As you can see, a longer target away is 220%. We have already had some ridiculous numbers from being in Cello in early January. And I just think it's going to play out this pattern again and get up to these numbers. Don't buy green, but we did. Look at that. Just got the bullish cross. We haven't had one of these since March. What was it? It didn't last long. But when it finally, well, let's go from the bottom. That bear to the top of that bull in 4 days was 36%. You know, and then geopolitical, everything else. So obviously, to me, it would make sense that the weekly 9273 is going to be resistance. We've got bullish cross, it's taken off. There's always that pullback, needs to hold in this area and then fight this resistance. But in beautiful form to do it. And when Cello wants to rip, this thing rips. It's been good to me for a very long time. It's a great token. Polka dot. Remember this? And I was like, what the hell is going on? It made no sense. And I was actually worried it might come back down to this line here. But we wanted it to curl. Well, clearly now we're in profits, anything over our bottom entry. And same thing, just getting that. I don't know why none of these are to the front. Just getting that. So retracement, obviously, we're definitely going to want to hold this line, 7290. Like I said, look, we haven't had to add any. What have we added? 2, 3 support lines that were already there for Bitcoin and the total market cap. And once you zoom out and you look at it, it's all just the same pattern. And this is where patience is everything. Thank you, brother. The micro bear, micro bull NFA tool, to me, I always call the cross as boss. Hence why it's up top. And when all other indicators are maybe giving you different information or different levels of confluence, I look at it as, ooh, we just had the daily candle flip. And we fire critical greed on the 4 hour. But money is already coming in. We got on 30, held it. Yoink. Right on that line. Really like to see the markets get traded this week. I mean, this could even play out as a nice new cup and handle formation in here as well. And then, you know, from our bottom entry to our localized high, we're looking now at a 74% return. Don't know where you're from, but I'm happy with those kind of numbers, especially if we can do it consistently like we have been. Beam. Oh my God, I looked at Beam. That was one of the ones I looked at in the bed because we're not in Beam in this, but I'm in Beam. And if you've ever followed the show, you've heard me talk about it a ton and said you should just have it. I think that's on the list. Somebody asked too. But I mean, it's almost damn near played out. The pattern, lots of spread still. All this up. Red does not scare me. I could see it coming right back down to this level on its retracement. It would make sense because that is a juicy 50.9% in the last 5 days. I told somebody to buy Doge the other day because it was looking like it was ready to pump. That one to the list. Curious as to what that did. Yeah, in gross amounts of profit there. I'm not here to, well, oops. Oh yeah, this was a fun one. Kate's helping her dad move today. So this was all obviously pre-bombs, and we were trying to get the pinch on the, which we thought would be stink bids and not actually hitting these, to getting a beautiful bottom entry on fetch to equate to what we invested here on the way up. This has just been a fabulous trade. And we can see we're going to probably have some contention in this area. And just like I said, with a lot of this stuff, expect to see a little retracement unless money just keeps pulling in, which when we look at it, be curious. Hedera, another one that I've done well over the years with the pattern that we're trying to play out, bad news bears. Obviously, I don't have to keep repeating that, but another one, we nailed this bottom re-entry to catch this fall and took off. And I mean, look at, and this had the fake news that I even said that day, I wouldn't fault you. Nobody goes broke from taking profits. I said I didn't actually have, I'm on the battle stations, like where my wallets are. When I'm streaming, it's usually from my travel laptop. And on my travel laptop, I have no access to my trades. This is just in great formation to continue to do the pattern that we're looking to do. Just from that beautiful entry to there is 55. That was 139 H bar. And we've got so much to go. These are all slow trades, accumulate. This is what we've been talking about. Look at that, just walking up. That's what I think it's going to do. Then we'll get another pump. But this was artificial news pump. Healthy recovery. With all the BS that it wasn't, it held. And then now it's just going to go back. And this is where it's going to be area contention, resistance, resistance. But H bar has been great to us this year. Chain link. I don't know how many times I've said to everybody, you don't own enough link. It reminds me of the early days of Matic when it was pennies, and same with sand. And I mean, I bought this when it was pennies too back in the day. I have a strong inclination that this will probably be the cheapest price you ever see on Chainlink for quite some time. And I mean, look at those bottom entries on that. Took us a few with how it responded. And this is why we have strategy cash on hand at all times. So you can make these up, and we're in massive amounts of profits. This is fabulous. Just from our bottom entry, there is already 30 and not too long. But that's our first target. And that's 63%. And look where it's fighting. This daily consolidation rectangle we had before all the bad news. Held for so long, looked like it wanted to curl and go up. Geopolitical twice. Now there's your pattern right there. Actually played out. Still lots of spread. Retracement healthy. Probably get down to this wick. So don't panic in the next few days, because everybody's going to be like, oh, the bull run is over. Did you have a good one? Especially with, I mean, this is tight. It's holding, and we're on the 30s. Compression builds breakout. I would really like to see to contest this. Yeah, link in great form. All this compression here. Consolidation in this area. Now it needs to settle above it, so it's a higher low, and then retest this area. If I try to draw, it just will bring everything back, but you can already see that area is there, and bottom of this weekly consolidation. Telcoin, we gave the entries for, but I couldn't get into it because I didn't know it was on Mexi, but I've always followed it because I gave the entries. And I mean, damn. We drew this saying we wanted the cross monitor spread and the thing to go up. These candles obviously weren't here when they did that. It's been 2 weeks since we've streamed, and I mean, it's doing exactly. You're in a ton of profit right now if you took all these trades, especially if you took them to strategy. You're in 36% profit. Now it's taken us since middle of April. I mean, that's not bad for a month. Just not as good as our January to April was. But that's what black swans can do. I mean, we're above our original entry from Black Swan. Look at that belly. The epitome of buying a belly. Now wait, because obviously we are going to have some retracement, like I said. Get that cross and go. And even just from current price to area of next level resistance, quick 25%. And that's just a short-term target. Remember, a lot of these are set up for me for months, so I can walk away. So if I'm looking for month trades, I'm looking how the fuck can I maximize my capital in those? And you've seen my token list that I just shared. I have more tokens than that. And if you've seen any of my hunts, I'll go through and I'll go through all of them. I mean, look at that formation. There's a bullish wedge if I've ever seen one ready to pop. S and X, oh, thank God, big Greek candles, because you have been painful. 1 inch and S and X have been our slowest turnarounds. I say that now, and we're clearly. Last time I looked at it, it was somewhere in these levels, and I was like, man, we're still below our bottom entry. We're clearly now in profits, even at the area of support resistance, or one entry here to there is still going to be 73% to complete this pattern from current price. And same thing, just about to get bullish cross, just a little behind on all the others. But these are playing out nicely. See, what we didn't do, and we can look at it now that we have the bullish sentiment, is we didn't panic sell. We kept rebuying, we kept accumulating. And it was because we don't have proof yet that we're not out of an accumulation phase. What's going to change that is this. For as long as we're in this box, we're in accumulation Bitcoin phase. It's really cool, and everybody's excited to see we're in profits here. These are 3 days. So, and this was new, 3-day candle. So this even is indicating, hey, you know what? Probably a little retracement, and off we go. We will really see the shift from altcoin season or from Bitcoin to altcoin when we break this. For now, you can just continue doing W's in here for 8 months. I'd be actually quite all right with that. So not financial advice, of fucking course. It's been a while. I've missed you all. Hope you're all doing well. Those are all the trades that I'm still currently in. And like I said, if anything ever changes with any of them, you'd hear from me in the Discord. I believe these are all great trades to be in. And I've had a few requests. And if anybody here has requests, I'll try and get them in. That went faster than I thought. I haven't done it in a while, so it's nice. Give me 1 second. If you do have a request for me to chart, throw it in the channel now, because I'm going to load up a fresh screen. Eight months of sideways action, Quanas. Yeah, the longer we can consolidate, the longer the bull run lasts. Now, typically, what we want to see are the spikes up, consolidation, that pullback, consolidate, spike up, pullback, consolidate. The more we can have that formation, and the longer we can do it, yeah, it's just best for everyone. I'm just gonna grab this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, charts. I know I'm not sharing my screen right now. It's a lot easier for me to quickly get these set up to do the requests from the DMs. Render, come on, you made it in time. You got it. Yeah, I haven't looked at it since we took those profits last time. That was definitely a great example of sell the news. Thanks for your patience while I quickly set these up. Gala has been one. Apparently, they had a hack today. I don't know. Secondhand news. That sucks. If so, big fan of Gala. Probably safe to say that Gala bought me a vehicle last year or last major bull. Would have been a good time. Wonder if you listen. And render. Anybody else? Nobody else. All right. Render. Curse of many screens. Again, thank you all for the patience. Oh, there's 9 of you here now. I have as much time as I have before the game, which is about another hour. I don't think it's going to take me that long at all to go through these. Probably share the screen. We're going to just quickly mark each one of these up from scratch because I don't really know what people are asking me other than to have a look. And I am not in any of these trades at the moment. Just double checking that. Other than Beam, actually, I have a bag of Beam, but I've had that for some time. All right, Gala. I mean, Gala is still looking to want to make, and I love this company. If you don't know Gala Games, you really should. It's really wanting to make that. It makes sense why I didn't do it here because geopolitical. So it pulled back and held. From all that fall, it held right in here, which was support, and then broke it. Support, 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 support. And we have such a bullish wedge forming here, which is one of my favorites. I mean, we're coming up. We have, right, like that. Come up, bounce around in here, get out, retest, and take off. Buy the retest. Say the retest is current price, just for argument's sake. Your quick short-term target is 89%. Wasn't kidding when I said Gala probably brought me a car. So that's on the weekly. Thanks. On the daily, we haven't had the bullish cross. You know, and you can see right here, there's your, I mean, let's not be extreme on the wicks on those ones, but lots of support all above and even above. So anything really below, I'd say right there is dramatic. And it's right in the middle at the moment, approaching the cross. Just quick and dirty. You're on your retest right now on the daily. Cross just came out of a sell position. Can't remember what these are called. Pit bills. No, that's a bullish indicator. Bought all the way up, bought all the way down, right in the middle, holding. Makes sense that it went a lot down with a hack yesterday. If that is true, not calling you a liar, in America, I don't know. But it is in a beautiful position to want to, probably pull back, maybe somewhere in here. You could probably catch a wick, and to that localized high, the 97%. On the fours, you can see how micro bear bull just went, and this was news. Obviously, something happened, so it really doesn't know what it wants to do. But before the bad news, it really did want to go and probably contest these areas up in here. Lots of recovery means probably everything was okay. A little bit of digging would give you the answer. I'm always bullish on Gala. Might not be a bad idea to put a bid in. You might get a stinky wick. Somewhere in that area, a little bit below. I mean, if I was watching closely, I would. I mean, this is criminal almost for Gala. All right, there's Gala. Oh, somebody said soul. Somebody tried to tell me soul was outperforming Ethereum at the moment. 58. Holy shit, did it ever? Just shows you the focus is on those meme shit coins. I mean, our indicator told you it was going to the bullish upside last Wednesday. So just by playing our indicator alone, if you bought the day after at its peak, you're up 20% just by playing the micro bears and bulls. Imagine if you just short when that happens. I have a friend of mine, that's all he does. He sets alerts to this strategy. As soon as they fire, he either shorts or he longs. It's not the best trading strategy. He doesn't get as good as entries and exits, but he still gets a lot better than the average. Salt run has been crazy this cycle. Um, yeah, my opinions aside of it as a blockchain, um, we've done very well trading Sol this year since we've started in January. And then, like I said, we've been on a bull run for a long time. Nobody wanted to listen. And like you can see, there's our micro bear. It's spread a little bit of curl, a little bit. Wouldn't be surprised with all that up. Maybe pull back down into recontest, these areas in here. Probably get some wicks. Again, purely dependent on what this is going to be doing. Oops. Fascinating. I would love to see a few days. I'm just so hesitant to say we're going to see a few days of run of money into the crypto market because as fast as we've been seeing these gains, it's been leaving between 12 to 22 hours from making them. But it is also trusting the indicators. There are a lot of indicators saying we've got room to run. This will obviously be this 200 psychological level here will be a test to the strength, pullback, and then hopefully take off. But don't fade meme coins. A lot of that market is driving Sol. Sorry, Quan, left your comment up there. Hilarious. I think Doge, I said this to a friend the other night. As much as I'm fading the meme coin uh, bullshit on Sol and the micro caps, if you followed me for any length of time, I used to actually hate meme coins forever. And then that's when I adopted don't love it, don't hate it, just trade it. And I mean, Doge and Pepe, you can't look past them anymore because they're far from memes just with the amount of their market cap and their provenance. They're here to stay. And all sometimes it takes is a tweet from Elon. I've said that a million times. And this will go. Yeah, that's awesome. I think this has a good chance to contest into the 40s. This area in here is where I could see it going. Whether or not it contests this again, I really don't know. But that was my analysis to a buddy of mine the other night when he was asking. I said to me it would make sense that we would run into these areas up in here, which is a quick 100%. And when these run, they tend to do it pretty quick. Just got the cross on the 3-day. Today is the new candle on the 3-day. Just got the cross on the daily compression. I'd wait on a slower time frame if you wanted to get in. But Doge is looking good. There you are, buddy. Beam is just been a golden child for us this year. And I mean, this is, if you're not in and you didn't get in any of it when I did it on the hunts and things like that, I mean, it's 3 cents. I see Beam going parabolic this run. I don't want to put a number on it, but I've been stalking Beam for quite some time. And I mean, it does these kind of ups on the regular. Oops. Just grab an average bottom there to an average top. It's been a great coin to us. It's starting to turn. This has so much use case. There you are, Doug. I would be not acquiring at the moment because we'll probably have some retracement, but acquire more on the red days for sure. Quan, this one's for you, buddy. All right. I'm going to mark this one up from scratch for you. Here's what I'm seeing. Just quickly and rough, right? Clearly resistance. Clearly support. Nope. No resistance. And then support again, like massively. Ish, right? Just quick and dirty. You can see right now to this stretch, this rectangle, roughly is 20%. So it's fighting right now to hold there. Otherwise, it's just going to come right back down to here and fight to hold here. This is on the daily. It's kind of a shit double bottom, to be honest. Render did not follow suit of the others. Right, there's your candle body, there's your candle body from here, and it played it out to there perfectly. Consolidation builds pressure. Let's get some trend lines on this. So wiki, like the amount of price action you can get in a day with this token, which is great for swing trades when you know it's momentum. Candle bodies, wick, candle bodies, wick, 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 candle bodies, roughly. So without even looking at indicators, I mean, I would say you would probably be able to get a bid in here. You know, at 10.6. You'd probably catch a wick on the way down. Might come all the way back down to retest this because we can see 1, 2. This is at a point of a breakout here. And if we use this as our bottom triangle, what I mean by that is, right, we can see we got a lot of support resistance. Ooh, that's a bad mouse. But in this area, now it's trying to break. If it can hold this as support, it has a very good chance of retesting here and then going off to here, pull back, retest, and go. But if it doesn't hold that, it's coming in here most likely with the candle body and somewhere in here with the wick. That's just what price action and the TA is saying to me at the moment. This is what I would like to see. Oops. In a buy action, neutral, spread, like I said, I wouldn't be surprised to see just a little pullback into these wicks in the middle of this area. I'll mark it. And then go off. It's a possibility for sure. I mean, Render is a great project. I think it's a little gassed at the moment. That's why when we got out, I was out. Ladies and gentlemen, it has been a while. It's been a couple of weeks. Thanks for your patience. There'll be more news, like I said, to come regarding the move, the restructuring, a few things coming with NFA. That we will not be doing Monday to Friday shows while I'm trying to move around the world. But we will be doing weekly, whether it be Sunday or Monday. Haven't decided yet, but any information that's urgent or needs to be attended to will always be dropped in our Discord and on our Twitter. I'm glad to be back, Juan. Thank you very much. And you are welcome 100%. For all those that have tuned in and stuck with it. And if you're in those trades and you followed it, happy profits. If you do have any questions, you can always hit us up in the Discord, and you can look for me there in the next little bit. Once again, it's not financial advice. Fucking course. Go touch or smoke some grass.